G'day, g'day. You got Jackson down here from Mine Engineering. I'm going to be giving you your training today at the first officer station. This will be done through training video. If at any point in time you have a question, please pause the tape, raise your hand, and a staff member is going to go assist you, alright? So, first officer, it's kind of an interesting job. It's unlike any other job on the ship. You're not in charge of any systems to say, but more of you're in charge of the people of the ship. You're also in charge of making sure the captain's orders are getting carried out, alright? Now, as much as we love our captain, they are human. They can't take care of everything at once. They can only focus on a few things at a time. That's where you come into play. Your job is to make sure that the things the captain is worrying about are the things he should be worrying about, or that she should be worrying about. You're making sure that the captain is not focusing on the little details, but instead looking at the big picture. You are going to focus on the little details. Alright, you're in charge of making sure that security on the ship is up to standards and that we're safe here. You're in charge of making sure that all the little things that the captain shouldn't have to worry about, small fights, things mostly on the inside of the ship, are taken care of. Now, a good rule of thumb for what the captain's in charge of and what you're in charge of is going to be, if it's on the inside of the ship, it's your job. If it's on the outside of the ship, it's the captain's job. The reason why we say this, it doesn't apply 100% of the time, but it does most of the time. If there's a security threat on sorry, I can't talk today. If there's a security threat on deck 7, we don't want the captain worrying about that. That's not a big deal. Alright, security can take care of that, and you can take care of that. If there's a battle going on, then we want the captain to worry about that. So it's more prioritizing, alright? So, if it's on the inside of the ship, again, you're going to take care of that. If it's on the outside of the ship, the captain takes care of it. That's also the same for talking to aliens. You should never talk to an alien. It should always be the captain that talks. And if, for whatever reason, the captain is off the bridge, that will be the only time that you could talk in their place, alright? So, first off, we're going to learn how to use your computer screen. So, on the one that says monitoring, it should be the one on the right, unless it isn't, and it's on the left, in which case, use the left computer, but it should say just monitoring right across the top, just like it does on my computer. Most of the time, that's on the right. Alright, so go ahead, take your mouse, click on that blue icon in the very middle part of the screen. After you click that blue icon, you're going to see a bunch of buttons appear. You're going to click the one that says Access Terminal, alright, Access Terminal. Now, when you click that, you're going to see a box appear. It says enter your full name to log in. You can type in your full name, you can type in your first name, it really doesn't matter, alright? Now I'm just going to type in Jackson. Alright, go ahead, pause your tape until you've typed in your name. Alright, I'm assuming you've typed in your name by this time. If you haven't, again, pause the tape. Take your mouse, and you're going to click this button that says OK. Alright, perfect. We're logged in. So, the next thing that you're going to do is you notice all these buttons have just been enabled. We can now use them. Don't worry about these buttons. You'll never need to push them unless another officer asks you to, and they almost never do. Most of them are for security or damage control. What you will need to do, and don't forget how to do this, because if you do forget how to do this, it's really embarrassing. You can't do your job. Take your mouse all the way up to the very top right corner. This is how you get to your menu. Alright? So once your mouse is all the way up here, you'll see this box appears down here. Again, if you forget how to do this, you won't be able to do your job. So remember, top right corner is how you get to the menu. First off is our officer's log. Go ahead and click on that. Alright, officer's log is like your personal journal for the ship. Alright, this applies only to you. The captain also has his own personal log, or her personal log, but don't worry about it for now. We're only going to worry about yours. So, like every journal entry, you need a title. So I'm going to type in right here, testing title? Sure, we'll type that in. So testing title. Now down here, I just hit tab to move down, or you can just click. You can type your message. So I can say, we are, whoops, spelled wrong. There we go. Alright, I can type. We are training the first officer station. Okay. Alright, and now I could say, this is Jackson, blah blah blah, type whatever I want. Alright. Now I'm going to take my mouse and hit save entry. Alright, so, don't forget to save. You should always save everything you do. It's really embarrassing when you forget to do that, alright? we have a few more options now. We can close this entry, we can open a new one, or we can delete this entry. I'm going to close this guy, okay? Now, if we want to open him, you can come over here to open entry. This drop down comes down. It will show you all of our logs. Right now, we only have one. Testing title. You can hit submit. It opens up. There you go. I can also hit delete. I don't want to do that right now. So you might be thinking, when will we want to use this? How is this useful and all? And the reason why is it's really there as a tool for you. If you ever want to write something down, but you don't have a pen and paper, maybe you want to write down the name of a planet, a shield frequency, some number, something that you think you might forget, you can write it in here. It's encrypted, and the only way it can be opened is if you log into your station. Alright? Now, in the event that our ship were to be destroyed, we can do what's called we can launch what's called a records buoy. Alright? A records buoy is a container of all the logs of all officers on the ship. And this is useful to other ships because then they can read our records buoy and go, oh, that's what happened in the last seconds. There was a bomb on their ship. That's why they blew up. That's why they died. So you can leave messages for your family and friends, and in the event that we get destroyed, they'll be found. Now, to send them over to the records buoy, what we have to do is hit send logs to records. Alright, and it says confirm sending logs to records, and you say yes, send. Alright, that encrypts that sends those logs. You can no longer edit those. Now, you are actually responsible for launching the logs for the ship. And for that reason, it's very important you understand how this station works, this screen works. We're going to go over records in just a second. That will be on your next computer. That is all for this screen, though. If you have questions, please pause the tape, raise your hand, and ask any questions that you have about this one screen. Otherwise, go ahead, take your mouse, move up to the menu, click the next screen that says Monitoring. Alright, so this screen is for you to be able to monitor the entire ship, hence why it's called Monitoring. This screen shows you all the important things that's going on inside the ship as well as outside, for the most part, and this is a very valuable tool for you. Most of the time you spend at your station is going to be just watching this one screen, okay? Now, up here, we see our speed and our destination. Speed is how fast we're going, obviously. Destination is where we're going, alright? So, if you ever see a speed, let's say it says warp 5 there, if you don't see anything, that's because we're at a full stop, we're not moving. But if it says warp 5 right there, then you can imply we're flying at warp 5. Pretty simple, alright? But let's say you see warp 5 there, but you see no destination. That is a big problem. That is how people die, alright? Look around. Can you see any windows on the bridge? There are no windows up here, alright? We can't see where we're going. And for that reason, if we don't have a course calculated, we are going to crash and die, probably. I mean, the odds of hitting an asteroid aren't that high, but hey, we might not know that there's a planet in front of us, which is a lot bigger, and then we can crash right into that. So, this destination is calculated by the ship's right-wing officer. If you're facing forward, that's the officer, 2 officers to your right, not the one immediately next to you, but the one with the big giant desk that's up a little bit higher to your right. This officer is in charge of calculating course. After they calculate this course, our computer will make sure we're not going to hit any asteroids, rocks, stuff like that, and the destination will appear right here in this box. Over here is your damaged systems. Now, your computer will almost certainly have at least one. It seems CO2 scrubbers are always broken. If it's not CO2 scrubbers, it's probably water pipes or the windshield wipers. Those 3 systems are always broken. Alright, so those damaged systems, of course, are damaged. We can't use them anymore. But that's when you ask the ship's damage control officers to fix those. So stand up, turn around, but don't pull off the headset because that would be embarrassing. Stand up, turn around, and if you look at the very back of the bridge, you're going to see several officers. Some of them will be wearing yellow, probably, unless we have new uniforms, and some of them are going to be wearing red. Now, or maroonish, kind of a darkish red. The officers, if you're facing the back of the bridge, that's going to be on your left. If you are turned around facing the back of the bridge, it will be on your left. Those officers are in charge of fixing things. They have a lot of computers. They run around. They try to flip switches. They're usually kind of smelly because they don't have time to shower. Those are our damage control officers. Don't tell them I said that. That was kind of mean. Alright, so with damage control, you can just say, hey, fix the CO2 scrubbers. And they'll probably say, yes, sir, or yes, ma'am, or whatever you want us to call you. If there's more than one system, say the shields are broken and the phasers are broken, along with the warp engines, that's when you get to prioritize. You could say, hey, the warp engines are more important. I want you to fix warp engines first. We're in your big, bossy first officer voice, and they say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and then they'll start working on that. That's all for the damaged systems. Drop down. If you look over, you can see the next one that says Security Dispatched. Security Dispatched, alright, this right here shows you all the security teams that have been dispatched throughout the ship and where they have been sent. So our security officers are sent by the chief security officers, which are on the back of the bridge. If you stand up again, they're the officers that are across from the damage control. They're usually wearing yellow. These officers, you know, they're made of pure muscle, alright? They're real strong. They'll protect you from any threats on the inside of the ship, whether that's a bomb, an intruder, your ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend. They're going to keep you safe, alright? So, if you ever see that there's a team listed right here, it could say like Deck 5, that means there's a security team on that deck. If you want to ask why, just go over and ask the security officer and say, hey, why do you have that security team out? It might just be a standard patrol, maybe they're trying to guard something like that. If we move over, you can see doors sealed. Now doors sealed, this has to do with giant bulkhead doors. Bulkhead doors are basically a foot of pure metal. They shut, and they can't be easily opened. It's nice for trapping things, whether that's intruders, fires, oxygen. You close the doors to keep the things on a deck stuck on that deck. Every deck has bulkhead doors. Some of them have more than others. Deck 1 actually only has a couple. Most of the doors just lock if you seal those doors. This, again, is more of a security thing. If you notice that there's a fire or a hull breach on a certain deck, then you would want to seal the doors on that deck. Very last, but not least, we have the intruder monitor at the bottom of the screen. Now, a lot of people think that this shows you the exact position of the intruders. It does not. What this does is it shows you the spot where an intruder was last sighted, or last seen. Yeah, the spot where an intruder was last seen. Last sighted? Sighted's a word. Sorry, getting off on a tangent. So, intruders. You see down here is this red box. If you see a red blip, that is where an intruder has last been seen. Most decks have just red buttons on the wall. Look around. I don't think there's any on the bridge. I haven't been up there in a while. If you see this giant red button on the wall, don't click it. It usually means it's an intruder alert alarm, so if you click that, then that blip will show up on this map over here, and you could be like, oh, there's an intruder. Security, go get them. Alright? That is all for this screen. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Otherwise, this video is actually going to stop, and another one's going to start in just a second, and that will show you how to use the next computer. So hang tight, alright?